Ahoy, listeners! Welcome to the Yonko Podcast with me, Alex Chuan, our crew, Burke and Brock. We are back to SANKO-Podcast this week. Today, we'll be reviewing Chapter 10-17. Holy moly, what a long chapter. So much goodness, Oda. Maybe you should take breaks more often. Just kidding. Gum Gum Origins? Who's Who is Who's Who? Rob Lucci might know, and Jinbei doesn't care at all. Let's get right into it. Let's set sail! One Piece, Chapter 10-17. It's time for orders. Who's giving out them orders?
Foxy.
No. No.
Oh,
Tama! Thank you. Oh, Tama's giving some orders, but before even that, we got Buggy the Clown looking real sleek. I don't know. Buggy looks dope in this picture. What can I say? He looks like an actual warlord.
What?
I know, it's supposed to be funny, but I really like this look on Buggy.
I actually really like this look on Buggy
I
too.
mean, I like the look on him too, but I wouldn't call him sleek.
I wouldn't agree with sleek as the term, but
he looks dope. Dope work.
Sure.
He looks good.
I think they're dope.
He looks like, I don't know, scarier than his normal, boring, small little
No, for sure.
self.
This is the reason people are afraid of clowns.
He is a scary.
That's some Five Nights at Freddy's shit right there, man.
I'm pretty sure Oda
that comes walking towards me, I'm screaming.
I'm pretty sure Oda lost half his viewership just by drawing this.
Yeah.
All those people with clown phobias, yep, they quit One Piece this day.
Back in 2016 when there was that clown friggin' pandemic going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That happened.
That was a thing.
Yeah, wild times.
That was Buggy. It was all Buggy, man.
Buggy got me bugged out.
Shut up.
All right, well, with that, let's get to the dome interior live floor where all sorts of crap's going down. Jeez Louise. So we got Queen, who is, I guess, fighting Sanji on and off.
Well,
It seems like he gets a lot more dialogue than someone who's in the middle of a fight with, Sanji would normally get.
Well, I think,
I feel like everybody's just kind of surprised that,
the little girl on the intercom.
yeah, honestly, I think...
It's like if Honey Boo Boo just, all of a sudden, just,
It's Honey Boo Boo! This is a war!
Showed up in the middle of Afghanistan and was just, able to talk to everybody on a battlefield.
Oh, man.
I think, on going back to the last conversation we had, Burke, when you thought it might have been, and you might have been joking about this, but when the way his head's turned, that it might have been a result of Sanji having kicked him and he swung it around. I think this kind of confirms
was that
he...
me? Or
that was you.
Alex?
That was you.
I think that was you.
Okay.
But I think it is just honestly just looking at Tama.
No, yeah, he's just looking.
I think Tama's appearance has equally surprised everyone on the battlefield, which is why everything stopped for a moment.
Yeah, and Queen has Conqueror's Haki. Clearly knocked out Otama there with the "Who the hell are you?" Boom, she's out. No, I'm kidding, obviously.
Oh.
Queen doesn't have Conqueror.
How about I say it? I'm pretty sure that she was just scared of the giant dinosaur with a cigar yelling at her.
It's kind of a funny design when you think about it. Brontosaurus that smokes cigars. Chain smoking
Brontosaurus.
Brontosaurus.
Hey, whoa, that's actually... I just noticed that panel right under that. That's actually a full panel. There's that... The post there, I almost thought was a divider between the panels, but that's actually a full, long panel of you see the devastation below, Tama falls on the ground, and Usopp and Nami are running towards her.
Yep, we actually get a pretty good look at what everything's looking like here.
It's so interesting the way the inside of this whole place looks.
Auntie and Uncle are on their way.
Yeah.
But, it is kind of interesting. So Otama's right there. She's literally on the top of where Queen's yelling.
Yeah.
That's why she falls. It makes sense. I mean,
well, especially because, when you look at the first panel that even starts this, it doesn't look like that much of a distance between, obviously, if he got closer to the actual partition, it'd be further up.
But also, we've seen that he's made mechanical changes to his body.
It
looks like he could extend
himself to
his
her.
stuff even more.
He's got a laser beam. He's got a Gatling gun.
She is definitely putting herself in the line of fire.
He would definitely be a modern Power Ranger villain.
Yes, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
But, we get that surprising thing. Auntie and Uncle are on the way. Moving to the castle interior. 4th floor.
Can I just say, so, obviously last chapter I didn't really care so much for it because I wanted the payoff. Can I just say thank God that, it's just a funny moment here. We get plenty more after this moment.
So much more. Super long chapter.
Yeah. But I just mean like with the Tama thing.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Just because that build up, like if this joke had lasted any longer than like this beginning, I might have not liked this chapter as much as I do, and I have so much to say.
Yeah, so much. So
anyway,
castle interior, 4th floor. We get Jinbei, Who's Who, and Who's
many,
gang.
many other people.
Because fair fights not in this place.
I do like that it's focusing on the fact that they're all outnumbered.
Mm-hmm.
Which I do like that combination. It's like, what's going to happen when it's 1v1, bitches?
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly.
We get Jinbei updating us on the battle as he thought it would go. Right.
I actually. So this is just fun. It's almost a meta commentary because obviously, like, we're so used to these one-on-ones and like whether by any choice or not, they always are one-on-ones.
Yeah.
But I like that in this moment, you know, Who's Who is mocking Jinbei. You're not going to start making excuses now, are you? And Jinbei at least is like, we went into this battle knowing it would be our 5,000 against your 30,000. It's only natural that you would exploit that. So I never expected this to be a one-on-one duel.
That's
so
what
go ahead.
I love the dichotomy of Jinbei, where he's like the perfect equal measure of honor and rationale.
Yeah.
He's not so honorable that he gets blinded by things, but he's not so rational that he doesn't have a good heart.
Yeah.
And I think he just represents the best of both worlds, and I think that's really shown here.
Yeah.
And just in a really short way.
You realize you've dug yourself into a hole. You really are in pain.
Yeah.
Like that line from Who's Who is just like, really, man? Like, come on. He's gonna go down fighting you. Like, by this regard, like, you think you won, and by all regards, you are winning right now, and you're gonna make fun of him for like he knows he's in over his head right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's still gonna fight.
Yeah.
Can you really blame him for that? I think Kaido would be impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, and Jinbei leads us into this, you know, of course, it's our job to deal with you officers. You know, we get a flash of him, we get a flash of Frankie,
Also, real quick,
Dogstorm, right?
Real quick.
Go ahead, Brock.
The nerve of Who's Who mocking a warlord of the sea or former warlord.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. That's... Any like, true, like, fighter would be like... Better not underestimate this guy. He's who he is for a reason.
Well, I mean, and that's the point of the antagonists having 30,000 and the Straw Hats only having 5, right? Is they get to be overly zealous.
The math was a little bit ago in Jinbei's. I don't know if he knows what's going on the main floor with obviously
the updates. His math from the beginning of it all, right? He understands the odds, and that's what I think allows Who's Who to be so condescending.
I'm just
and
saying
so
that most enemies would still have a healthy respect of one of the balancing forces in the world.
Like Who's Who right now does not have to fight Jinbei all by himself. If he did, it might actually be a bit of a different story, which is maybe why he's taking it less seriously.
As Kevin Hart would say, he gonna learn today.
Oh, he definitely gonna learn today. But no, I love this because the anime can now take all of these little clips and make them like actual full fight scenes. Maybe.
And honestly, I think we're going to see more of each in the actual manga too.
I'm pumped about that. Yeah. So no, but it does look like everyone's kind of being backed in the corner. Frankie, there's just no end. Dogstorm's looking tired. He's huffing. He's got an arrow in his back. Like, it's rough out here.
They're fighting against some of the top officers in the world, along with the officers beneath them.
Right. And you know, then the grunts go off. You know, the pleasures and waiters on the live floor have betrayed us. You know, those lousy ingrates. While, you know, they're saying all this stuff about, you know, well, we're going to beat them, we're going to show them. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly...
No. We're getting there. What should we do? I like to read through all of it just to get into it there. What should we do? What do you think? We're going to make an example out of them, beat them till they can't walk, eliminate all the traitors. Yeah, it's the gifters. So obviously coming through comes all of the people who actually got powers from the Smile Fruits.
Yeah, it looks like we got a monkey lady. We
Planet of the Apes, baby.
Got a. I don't know if that's it.
I can't tell what.
Caesar comes to mind. The Pokemon.
Hey.
Scyther. Caesar is the evolved.
Scyther. One evolves from the other.
But yeah, Auntie and Uncle come through.
You can do it, Otama.
And then she makes her speech. Otama has her speech.
Otama appear like, you know, excuse me for a second.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Otama appear like, execute
Order 66. Everyone who ate my Kibi Dongo, and then, she's still making a raccoon up there. Please listen to me. What is a bad steal? Knock her off the ledge. Big Bro Luffy and his friends, Momonosuke-kun and his retainers, you're on their side now. She screams out.
Which we get a nice cutaway
Yes.
really quick to see that, oh, thank God, stay with us, Straw Hat, don't die.
Well, this is very surprising. I can't believe it. They got him. They got him out of the water.
Hey,
And they're resuscitating him.
I'm just happy that it shows it.
I'm also glad that they didn't draw it out.
No, exactly.
I could have done some more chapters without Luffy, but it's cool.
Well, I mean, I think we're going to get more chapters without him because they still got to resuscitate him.
He's got to get back
Remember,
up, bro.
even if it's like 5 minutes for resuscitation, that's like 20 episodes in anime time.
It very well could be. But yeah, he's not out of the fight yet, but he is spitting up quite a bit of water.
Actually, he's out of the fight, but he's not out of the war.
He's out of the water.
He sure is. And into the fire.
But yes.
So she's panting,
Yep.
like,
and then cut away to Momonosuke, and
He's not dead.
no, surprisingly,
I have no idea where they're at. We don't get enough.
no.
I think they're through the air. I think they're in the air right now.
No.
He's distressed though. You know,
He's
Kinemon,
obviously Kinemon and
Kiku.
Kiku are most likely dead.
What's her
Yeah.
name? The ninja he's with. I always forget.
Shinobu.
Shinobu. Yeah, she looks like she's taking care of
She
him.
looks like a JoJo character.
She really
A little
does.
bit.
That
Yeah.
face literally looks like a JoJo face, man.
And then we continue
continue.
Otama's speech. Let's do it together. Let's take down Kaido. That's a reasonable request. Thank you, Otama.
And something they will be all too happy to help her with.
Absolutely. All right, we have our orders. What's wrong? Breeze Cola's son. And then that Brett clearly doesn't know her place. Crusher. Breeze Cola. Remind me, Breeze Cola's son. That's who the.
I think that's the
there's so
horse
many-
lady.
That's the. I thought that was.
many.
Someone,
No, Speed is.
Speed is the horse lady, isn't she?
No. Sorry, Briscola-san. I think that's the monkey guy because you see the guy yelling at Briscola like, "What's wrong, Briscola-san?"
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Briscola-san, why?" And he's about to attack them. It looks like.
Ah.
So I think Briscola is the monkey.
Go, Monkey Man Briscola!
Your wish is my command,
Oh,
master.
God. Here come all of the, and these are the gifters,
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
these are all the
These
people
are-
who
yeah.
got powers from Smiles.
Which ultimately now has turned all of those subordinates.
Or at least
a decent chunk.
She
Yeah.
fed quite a few of them at least.
Well, because we already had the pleasures and the waiters switching sides because of Queen's speech. King's speech, Queen's speech. And now with the
Colin Farrell, eat your heart out.
yeah, truly. And then now you
Colin
have
Firth, sorry.
the
Sorry.
the gifters who have swallowed the dongo. Now they're all flipping. So really, and it seemed like there was a lot of them that Usopp was shooting into their mouths.
Oh, for sure.
So we're gonna see a really big time. What do you think we're at? 30,000 to 5,000 now. We're probably.
What was the last measure when
The Toby
we
Robo-
switched? No,
not
what,
Toby Robo,
when we checked in
the-
with Aegis.
Aegis said 20,000 to 50. No, it wasn't.
I want to say it was. So I think
25
what
to
it
50?
happened. I want to say they had taken. So it started 5,000, 30,000.
Yep.
I want to say for the 2,000 that had been beaten by Kaido's forces.
Yeah.
I want to say they took down 6,000. And then another additional 4,000 joined up with the samurai, bringing us back up to 7 to 20. I bet you it's going to be now 15 to 12.
15 to 12. That is very reasonable.
I think it's possible.
So wait, so the people that are left on Kaido's side are the gifters that didn't have the dango.
the pleasures.
Or just...
No, the pleasures. Oh, the pleasures.
Yeah.
And can we even necessarily say that all of the pleasures and waiters, like, throughout Onigashima have done
I
it?
think we have to keep those numbers that high.
Well, I mean, I think we still got to take into account the fact that there are those that Chopper saved that don't want to fight for Kaido anymore.
So maybe we cut them down by a quarter. Okay, so we got some pleasures, some gifters.
I'm not going to say that it's fully even,
No,
but I
no.
think it's going to be even closer now.
It's getting
The
close,
next time
especially
we
since
check
these
in
are more
with
some of the
Aegis-
more powerful people in Kaido's army.
The next time we check in with Aegis, we'll definitely have an update on that. Whatever.
Yeah.
But no. So gifters, pleasures, 4 Toby Ropo with Ulti and Page 1 still down.
Yeah.
No, 3.
3 because
Drago also
Drake's not-
switched.
Yeah.
So you
got
have Sasaki,
Who's Who, Black Maria, and
Who's Who, Black
Sasaki.
Maria. Yeah. That's it for the Toby Ropo. Jack, King, Queen. We haven't seen King in a quick bit. I wonder what he's been up to.
I think he and Marco were still implied to be fighting.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, at the very least, two of the top guys I think have their fights. I think we got Queen and Sanji, which we'll see a little standoff there at the end. Yeah. And then we got
Marco
Jack
King
and,
right now, and then yes,
Jack and
Peril Sparrow's shooting arrows. Well, no, he's down.
No, I was gonna say he's down. He's down, bro.
He's probably dead.
I hope he's dead.
We can all hope for that.
Just like
so, no, this war is not looking so one-sided anymore.
No, I was gonna say this is a nice turn of the tide while our protagonist gets back up on his feet.
Yep.
What's with the gifters? Yeah, leave it to us, master. Why are they obeying that brat? We're gonna take down Kaido. Everyone follow me.
I never thought I'd hear Daifugo say that because honestly, at Odin Prison, I absolutely despised Daifugo. He was such an ass. And so just to see him being, we're gonna take down Kaido, I'm like, I appreciate your helping, but I still hope you get like smashed.
Yeah, I really appreciate all the fights we just saw are now literally like dwindling down to just 1v1. So Jack and you have Dogstorm, Jinbei and Who's Who, right? All these gifters are kind of taking out the.
Well, yeah, and I think, and I don't know if it's gonna like dwindle it down. I think the main purpose that the gifters serve is to create the background fighting so they can have their proper 1v1s.
Right, exactly.
Even if it isn't like necessarily dwindling them all down, because I'm sure it's still going to be pretty equal on that front.
Yeah.
It's gonna come down to the officer fights.
And I don't know who this person is, but the freaking snake leg dude.
Snake?
I think it's Snake Leg.
That's Ham.
Are you talking about Hamlet, the giraffe dude?
No. Look between Who's Who
Oh,
and
that
Jinbei.
guy. Yeah.
Snake Leg. That guy's cool. I don't know his name. He's
I'll
cool.
take care of these bums, Jinbei, Knight of the Sea. Focus on
See, there's the respect you were looking for, Brock.
It looks like his name's Poker.
I was gonna say this is the 4th floor.
Poker's
on
the headliner.
I do like the giraffe though, dude. The giraffe. Hamlet's fun.
Hamlet's fun even when he's a bad guy. Honestly.
Okay, yeah, no, his name's Poker because he's yelling at him, Poker, you bastard.
Yeah. Poker. Get him.
We're here to back you, samurai, up. This is the 2nd floor. The Straw Hats have to win. The gifters have switched sides. Ah! I like that freaking.
Pop back into Aegis.
What is she? Is she like a bumblebee lady?
I think it's
like
either a
wasp
it's
or
some kind of insect.
She's definitely she's using.
She has 6 arms, so she's definitely an insect. Well, and 2 legs. Oh, maybe she's an arachnid.
So she looks like she's using a whip, and then she's also using one of those like cat and nine tail things. Maybe
it's a whole thing, dude. It's cool though.
But so you got the
might be another S&M based character.
Anyway, this is gonna look fun animated.
The Bao Huang Marys are still obviously observing this. You got
they're recording everything.
With Aegis. This is strange. What in the world is happening? Gifters are tearing through the 3rd floor too.
What I'm really hoping happens, because it kind of to me seems like it with what's happening is, and I mean this might seem kind of cold, but I'd love to see some gifters tear towards the agent, Aegis agent, and just see a little bit of what he can do.
I don't know if we get to see anything from them.
Just literally, even just a snippet.
Do you guys think Aegis steps in at all during this?
Nope.
No. I mean, literally, they attack him.
No, I know. But do you think Aegis takes any side in this?
I don't think so.
I think they report back, and
I think it's going to be just like Stussy. If it's mission critical, that's the focus. But right now, I think he's here to oversee the fight between the generations.
Yeah, because he's not helping either side. He's just relaying the facts to us, which I appreciate. He might have the narrator's voice.
He looks like a narrator.
A little bit too, yeah.
I mean, a very menacing narrator, but a narrator nonetheless.
And now all different parts of the castle are having problems. This is the right brain tower. They're running wild. Basement's been compromised. What the hell's happening? Onigashima's fallen into chaos. Queen's just watching everything going wrong. There's a pig guy with a giant club.
I was gonna say I'm gonna call him Ganon.
Well, actually, real quick, I do love. I do appreciate, and this is kind of a weird appreciation.
Sure.
That, and I think this kind of goes towards his status as a Yonko commander, is that even with all this betrayal happening, he doesn't seem to have lost any confidence. he doesn't seem to be showing any fear. He's just kind of confused right now.
Well, yeah.
And he's like, guess I'll just destroy all of you,
Yeah.
But he still has the mindset to be like, guess gotta destroy that brat. She seems to be the cause of all this.
Yeah, she's excited. Auntie and Uncle, they're happy. The plan went perfectly. Don't tell me.
Tama, I feel that. That was how I was after my first time public speaking.
True. Queen is immediately enraged. Don't tell me this is all because of that brat. Got a laser beam going.
Get down.
And Collier Strike! Beautiful. Take that, you stupid
real
dinosaur.
quick, one thing I do appreciate especially is at first I wasn't sure how to feel about a potential fight between Sanji and Queen, just because the reason is they didn't seem like the types to fight each other, if that made sense. They didn't seem like a matching set, like say Zoro would have fight a swordsman.
Like King.
Yeah, exactly. But then the fact that he knows he has association with Sanji's family,
Right, this whole
makes it a lot more
connection.
sensible to me.
Right.
As a matchup.
Right.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and literally the next word's Judge's son, you bastard. Quit saying that name. I suppose you're also part of that research team. How does Sanji know about the research team? Does someone tell him about the research team?
I mean, he was one of the things they were researching on, I bet.
I know, but like, is he just making the connection that like you had something to do with me and my like siblings? Is that the connection?
Well, here's the
Like,
thing.
just all the stuff that like the scientists that are part of Germa.
And all the stuff that you've seen with this guy, and the fact that he knows Judge, I think kind of points Sanji in the direction.
Yeah, because he keeps mentioning Judge, and it's like
he's got this infatuation with hurting people with science and like developing his own body with mechanic.
Yeah. So then we move on to, you mean Mads? That's ancient history. Mads. Is that an acronym?
I'm sure.
I think so. I bet when the official release comes out, it'll actually be an acronym.
Mads. It's ancient history. Now check me out. I'm a cyborg, so I've got a whole bunch of tricks up my sleeve. Cue awesome shot of frickin'
hybrid form.
Yeah, which I think this is the first time we're seeing Queen's hybrid form.
Yes.
If I'm mistaken.
It is.
He's got lots of extra arms. His tail's an arm. His arm's an arm. His frickin' hair's an arm.
Well, it's just funny because Sanji's like, well, no shit.
Obviously.
I can see all your tricks right now.
Yeah, he also runs around with a cyborg on his crew, so this can't be surprising to Sanji at all.
But it will be interesting to see how he uses all this.
This is bad. It's Queen's hybrid form. Get back.
So they all know something about this that maybe he doesn't. That knowledge won't save you, though, Chopper. You holding up over there? Q.
Okay. I was gonna say, so I was super confused because I was at least trying to keep my eyes like in this panel, and I'm like, where the fuck is Chopper?
Yeah.
Why is this mink nurse holding his helmet? Where is he at? You betcha I'm right. I'm right as raw. Just keep your eyes on the prize. I can't help but worry when you look like that. I'm like, what the fuck? Miyagi, my boy. I had no clue you had this sort of remedy on Zoe.
It's a super recovery drug, right? I can't administer it by my lonesome.
And so, oh my gosh, so does he...
Baby Gramps Chopper.
Baby Gramps Chopper.
A side effect of
that.
So he's a baby, but he talks like a grandpa.
Yeah.
It looks like it.
That's gonna be fun animated.
I'm super excited.
Like he's already, like Chopper's already
I'm trying
adorable.
to look over this. Okay, so yeah, when I first saw this panel, I thought the knot of his helmet was like his arms and legs, and I thought he had just like become like this noodle arm thing for a bit.
That's
just
hilarious.
paraplegic.
So just because it's not very clear where his moves are.
But anyway, he's got something. Right away, we should warn him. Taking this can cause one's pain to double after it wears off. Zoro, awake again, chimes in. There's no time to worry about that. Just give it to me already. I don't care what happens to my body after this.
Did you hear a word I said?
This is some Thriller bark.
It won't even matter if I can't fight now.
Throwbacks.
No, but I mean, it's true. I mean, it won't matter if he can't fight.
Right. He's got the right idea.
And plus, he can handle pain. It's gonna hurt like a mother, but he can handle it.
Very true. I mean, he handled all of Luffy's pain in Thriller Bark, so you know this should be.
And he survived personal training with Mihawk.
Yeah, this should be nothing, honestly. But I guess we'll have.
Well, not nothing because he took an attack by 2 emperors, and that's going to be doubled along with whatever Kaido did to him after that too. So.
But whatever, he's correct. It won't matter if you can't fight.
It won't matter if they lose. So we might be getting Zoro back up next chapter.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's going to be like
instant recovery.
I think it's going to be very similar to, like, say, not quite as small scale as the Hachi fight, but I think he's going to go into a fight where he's already at a disadvantage.
I am curious if this is going to be a pretty large drug going forward for Chopper. And I was joking about this earlier before the podcast, but senzu bean, it literally seems like a senzu bean with a little bit of a side effect of your pain's going to double, which is going to hurt like hell. So, I mean, if we keep getting knocked down by bigger and bigger opponents, this, medicine might be, a real game changer going forward in future arcs. Who knows? But right here, we're going to see how well it works on Zoro.
And then, real quick, do you think he's going to, if assuming he's going to get back up after this, do you think he's going to fight King, or what are you thinking?
It's interesting because I never assumed Zoro was down. I don't think anyone did.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be healed by Marco.
I think we all assumed he was done with Kaido fight.
Yeah. But, obviously he's got more in the tank. He's going to get more in the tank. I feel like King's his natural opponent. I feel like something has to happen to Marco first, because that's currently who's fighting him, but maybe...
Marco could go do something else, too.
What?
Well, I mean, I think Marco...
I really like the Marco King fight.
Marco
honestly.
can fight, but I think his main strength is as a support.
I mean, sure, but
just
this
given his devil
entire
fruit.
time, he's been fighting.
Yeah, but he's mainly been distracting, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, we haven't seen King, but he's been a game changer for keeping King at bay, right? The right-hand man of Kaido.
I will say that everything is in terms of character creation, everything is pointing towards the King fight, because King does seem to be the top of the 3. At least that's what we get.
Even though he hasn't done very much.
I know, I'm saying, but between the sword and it sounds like he gives me the vibe of the most senior, even if barely.
Well, no, of course, no. I mean, King, I think is
and
King.
Between that and having the sword, it just gives me the vibe of the Vice is going to fight the Vice.
I just feel like...
But I don't know.
I don't know either. I really don't. I like the theme of Marco fights King to some end. Is there an opponent that would also work for Zoro outside of King?
I don't think so.
Not really.
And here's the thing, Marco's...
Not like Big Mom, perhaps?
No, I think that's for...
I think that's a kid law thing.
I believe in them, but I also wouldn't feel terrible if Zoro joined them.
I wouldn't hate it.
I feel like it just wouldn't fit with how things are shaping up.
I just don't feel like it would fit with Zoro as a character. I feel like on his journey to become the world's greatest swordsman, he's going to have to take out this top commander for Kaido.
Yeah.
Sure.
And also, it's just... wow, I just lost track of what I was about to say.
We're talking about Big Mom and Zoro potentially fighting her.
I know, it was something that wasn't related to Big Mom, though. It was... because here's also on Marco's end, I think it seems like from what he said, he's determined to see the new generation grow into their own.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to fight their battles for them.
No.
And that's why I think this is most likely going to be Zoro's fight. I think Zoro will take this over, and I think he will resume his duties as kind of like healing, watching over the battle.
Sanji has a connection to Queen, right?
Yes.
And that's why their fight makes a lot more sense than what you initially thought.
Exactly.
Do you think there's some hidden connection, Zoro and King? I just feel like they haven't really been built up as rivals.
Well, no, I mean, here's how it's usually been with Zoro.
I'm just curious.
Here's how it's usually been with Zoro. Generally, the fact of the matter is the person he fought was a swordsman. And that usually there wasn't a connection there. Like, go back to Skypiea. Ohm wasn't a sword. Ohm, he had no connection to Ohm besides the fact that he used a sword. Mm-hmm. Mr. One, that helped him.
There was no connection to Mr. One, and if anything, Mr. One wasn't even a swordsman. He was just literally
he created blades. So I think the point is it's something that helps in his development as a swordsman. Sure. And if he wants to be the greatest swordsman in the world, he has to beat the greatest swordsman.
Sure.
Because that's the thing is, Brock's right. Zoro doesn't necessarily need to be connected in any way, shape, or form to the character. Obviously, we got spoiled with something like Kaku. Like that was actually like almost a full-on honorable fight by the end of it. It was great.
But that was also Enies Lobby was a very, very exceptional exception, I think, to like the rule.
Sure.
So that's why I think it'll make the most sense for Zoro to fight. Not just because it's not just that I'm thinking like Marco wouldn't win. I'm thinking I don't think he intends to take the fight from them.
No, right.
I think he's going to leave it to the new generation.
I mean, I think there's a reason we haven't highlighted that fight and seen how well either side's doing is because really it's just that's what Marco and King have been up to while we focus on our actual characters and what they're going to do.
And really, out of the new generation, there's no one else I can really see fighting him.
King,
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like, I mean, sure, we could think maybe Killer, but Killer just doesn't seem like the type for that matchup.
Well, and Killer's got his own problem in...
He's fighting against...
Hawkins.
Hawkins. Yeah, Hawkins.
Yeah. Which, however that's going, hopefully it's going well. No, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think, honestly, King has a gigantic sword. We've seen him use exactly...
and it'll be interesting to see him fight against a flying character, too.
Yeah, that's the other thing I keep having a problem with is how does Zoro fight someone who flies? I mean, he does have ranged attacks, but does King come down and do swordsman to swordsman?
I'm thinking if Zoro can cut through an entire mountain like Pika, he can somehow fight a flying character.
Mountain Man. Pika.
So it'll be, whatever it is, it's going to be really cool. That's what I'll think.
I'm just curious to see how he gets into it. But yeah, I think Zoro's up either next chapter or the one after, and we're going to get some sweet, sweet Zoro action.
Right now, my money is he's gonna be one to fight and take down King.
Yeah, all right. Sounds fair to me. All right, we move to the castle interior, 4th floor. Back at it with Who's Who.
A disclaimer, no money is actually bet on these podcasts. So,
no one loses or gains any monetary funds.
This is all good fun. Friendship is king on this channel.
Hey, King. Fun fact about Who's Who, quite a few panels ago, he had a gigantic sword on his belt. And he pulls this little knife from it, and I find that tinily and hilariously cute. He has a huge scabbard, and it's just a knife.
But
I love that.
It looks like it adds to the mobility of his Rokushiki attacks.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, and we see that very clearly.
And
with
probably
his blade pistol.
I imagine if he had a longer blade, it wouldn't have quite the speed that this knife does.
Right. No, and he definitely is something of a Rokushiki master.
I would probably say he is a Rokushiki master.
Clearly. No, we got blade pistol there, Fishman Karate coming back at him, the brick fist, shaving, Tempest kick. Like, it's all of Enies Lobby thrown right back at you. So nostalgic.
It's been a while since we've had to deal with these.
Yeah.
It's actually refreshing to see it again, I think.
Yeah.
And then he throws out an attack, and it doesn't seem to do much. Iron Body, right? Those are the 6 powers used by the government officials. Oh, and such a cool panel.
I love that panel.
Oh,
not the next one, but like the panel where it just like is the shadow.
Yes, the face and shadow. You have those horns and the teeth.
And then for a second there, Fluffy Lucci?
Fluffy Lucci?
Yeah, straight up, it kind of does that.
And then
leads into some good stuff.
Some solid history.
I remember hearing about a rogue member of CP9, the Secret Intelligence Agency, breaking out of prison. The idea of an official being arrested struck me as odd. I can't believe you know such an old story. Well, it's true. Back then, we never made direct contact, huh? I'm pretty happy with how things turned out, but I used to have it rough due to a mistake I made 12 years ago. I used to be considered a bright prospect, a rival to the genius Rob Lucci. Fang Pistol!
Super cool.
I just got like Arlong vibes from the Fang Pistol.
Yeah, legit, absolutely.
Of the freaking every time his teeth would
when
come
Luffy
out.
would use the teeth.
Yeah, and then he like puts it in his mouth.
Yeah. Jinbei dodges that guy
Jinbei
easily.
dodges that. He's like thinking, why the hell is this my problem? What the heck are you talking about this to me for?
Yeah.
You failed science experiment.
I can see your talents. You use variants on the 6 powers I've never seen before. Your situation sounds unfortunate, but it doesn't seem to have anything to do with me. On the contrary.
Like, what's your beef, bro?
You just said it yourself. You're a proud member of the Straw Hat Crew. That name always reminds me of my bitter past.
Uh-oh.
And here we go. Monologuing. You had me monologuing. 12 years ago, I failed to guard a devil fruit that was being transported on a government ship. I was shocked when Straw Hat Luffy came to prominence 2 years ago. That's when I learned that the stolen Gomu Gomu fruit had been eaten by him. And then we get a fun little, a fruit important enough for the world government to guard?
Ooh, implications.
Dun, 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 end.
Imprecations.
So
Sonny.
first off,
What the fuck is that?
First off, Shanks fucking stole that fruit from the world government.
He might have. I don't know, bro. I have no idea.
I'm leaning towards he did, bro.
He took the Gomu Gomu. First off, if the world government had the Gomu Gomu no Mi, I'm assuming they didn't just
Because
find
remind
it.
me, so 2 years ago,
Yes.
obviously, is when he comes to prominence. 10 years prior was the flashback, right?
Yes.
So that was like literally right before.
12 years ago, that's what he said.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure in the timeline
Yeah.
that makes
The
sense.
math adds up.
Like that was like not even like months, weeks, days, who knows, after Shanks acquired this fruit.
Yeah.
Ah,
So
And showed up in Fuchsia Village with it.
ah.
this really just strikes home then. It's just like, what is there more to the Gomu Gomu fruit? And is it like a natural fruit? Or is it like one of the original fruits?
It's
Or
got to be a natural fruit because I mean, look, we've seen what
No,
Smiles.
the only reason I'm asking that.
Oh,
I'm not saying it's a smile.
okay.
I'm saying there might be ores to it that mean it's not a normal devil fruit in that sense. But I'm just saying there's obviously with that end little note there, there's something more to the Gomu Gomu no Mi than just it turns you to rubber, I guess.
We do not hear about Marines or world government entities guarding fruits.
Specifically, like trying to hold on to fruits.
Ever. That's a Blackbeard thing about going around and getting fruits and shit. So the fact that
Like, sure, they might hold on to some for like admirals
Sure.
or like promotion
Sure.
purposes, but we don't know about it.
Right. I mean, even CP9, they had a couple and they gave them to a few of the officers
Yeah.
in Enies Lobby. But
it wasn't
to-
like
to-
such a big ceremony. Like it
to
was a
be
ceremony.
under guard, to have
By
been
CP9
stolen.
agents.
Right. Was it CP9 specifically?
Or
or
are these
just-
Cypher Pole agents?
Okay, so
Yeah, because
specific.
he was the one who was guarding it. So
I
he was-
failed to guard a devil fruit that was being transported on a government ship. I failed to guard a devil fruit. So yes, he was a cipher pole like individual at that point, right before he screwed up, and he was guarding this fruit on a government ship with, I'm sure, a bunch of other officials.
And here's the thing, too. Losing this fruit was enough to get him
sent to Imbel
sent
down,
to
or to some prison.
Because here's the thing: when Rob Lucci and them lost Nico Robin, a world-wanted criminal with the ability to find out about the voice entry, they all came back with promotions and crap.
Sure.
But this fruit was important enough for him to get sent to jail for losing.
There's definitely more to meets the eye with the Gomu Gomu fruit.
Which I'm actually.
Why is that one? Now look.
Okay,
Look.
couple of theories that come to my head. A, Joy Boy. I think that there might be like just because we keep
This was
seeing.
Joy Boy's fruit. Is what you're saying?
It could have been Joy Boy's fruit, and it might have a connection to the frickin' Straw Hat back in Mary Joie.
Yeah.
Like
Fucking hell.
something like that, where they've been trying to keep hold of like these iconography, these things that Joy Boy. Because by all means, when Joy Boy was around, I'm sure he was not a fan of the new regime that was. The world
Yeah, sure, yeah.
What if, like, this is obviously? I think this is way. I don't know this. I don't think this is way on left field.
Hey, tinfoil hat time.
But what if stuff like the Gomu Gomu no Mi, the Straw Hat, the Will of D, these are all keys to a lock. Like not necessarily like a literal lock,
4 keys.
Hey.
Anyway, sorry.
but they culminate into something. or maybe they culminate into the will of D. I don't know, but maybe there's some kind of connection with all these.
Here is the only thing that I would hate if it takes this turn. I don't think it will, but I saw a Reddit comment that just was like concerned, like, I really hope that the Gomu Gomu's not like revealed to be like Roger's fruit that we just didn't know about. And I don't think it'll head that direction. But I agree with that sentiment. Yeah. I would hate for it to be revealed that it was Roger's fruit as well.
Same.
I don't think it would make any sense to be Roger's fruit because as soon as Luffy used it, someone would be like, "Hey, that's Roger's fruit."
Exactly.
It was so infamous. Like
well,
you don't wait 1,000 chapters to reveal that.
He would have used it in this fight with Whitebeard in the flashback.
Exactly.
No. I firmly believe that either he had no fruit or he had a fruit that we have not seen since.
Yeah, I think it makes most sense.
And no, gosh, it's so interesting because that opens like Oda. You want to be done in 5 years, but then you open another can of worms like that.
Dude, there's so many cans of worms.
So many questions, dude. Like, what are you... So... Who's Who is interesting. Now, maybe there's some tie-in with him near the end of Wano. He reveals something. Because this is something I've been thinking about for a number of chapters. There has to be a reason or something that continues to push the Straw Hats onto the next island, right? You know, the reason that we're here, it all started in Punk Hazard with Law's plan, Dressrosa, so, right? That this has been one whole big old culmination of defeating Kaido. I want to know if there is a significant figure in here, maybe it's a world story or something, that moves the Straw Hats to the next island, to the next adventure after Wano.
Well, there's a poneglyph here they need to get, right?
But there is a poneglyph, Kaido's poneglyph, right?
But also, I mean,
which we don't know where it is
also, yet. Luffy, he's gonna...
No, I thought Law saw it in the basement, didn't he?
No, he saw a different one.
Okay.
I don't think we've seen the road poneglyph that Kaido has, if Kaido has one. That's the big thing.
I'd be surprised if we didn't.
We're assuming he... Because Big Mom has... Big Mom had one.
There's the one on Zoe, there's the one that Big Mom had, which we got the etching of from Brooke.
One we're presuming Kaido has.
And presuming Kaido has one, and then there's the one that's lost.
Which
could be Shanks.
I'd be surprised.
Could be Shanks, could be World Government,
could be
something
Elbaf.
else.
Yeah.
But
no, like something, I feel like there has to be some time at the end of Wano that pushes our characters to their next thing. Now, I've always had two theories about this. Either it's going to be something to do with Sabo and the Reverie, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a new Marineford type thing. Or one of these characters has some information, and who's looking like someone like that might spurn interest in something that he knows, right? All of the Toby Robot were captains of their own crews, right? So when he broke out of prison, he had his own crew. He was a pirate for a time before he became, one of Kaido's confidants. So what was his whole goal before being, subjugated? I wonder.
I bet you anything, because I'm just straight up assuming at this point. I could be proven wrong.
We can only assume.
But I am assuming at this point that Who's Who had a run-in with Shanks when he was defending this fruit. And when he broke out of prison, I bet you anything he went on a freaking revenge quest to try and take down Shanks, comes to the New World after following Shanks from Fuchsia Village. That's the thing. I bet Shanks probably knew he was on a timeline limit and he needed to get going. Like, he hung around for a while, but eventually he was going to get found out. So he needed to head back to the Grand Line. And I bet you anything that at around that time, Who's Who was tracking him.
Who's Who has a connection to Shanks. We beat up Who's Who. Who's Who says, wait, I'll tell you something about Shanks if you don't, whatever. Maybe that's our connection to Shanks.
I can't say anything towards that just because...
I can barely say that.
The only reason I say that is because it's right now it's hard to tell whether he's the type to give up info like that, because you got to remember he is a former Cypher Pol agent.
I mean, he is monologuing a lot like Syndrome, so
And
it's just hard to say.
Jinbei doesn't care. I feel like, we need this as an audience, because if we didn't have this, we wouldn't know this at all. Oda's telling us this for a reason. I think Who's Who, and I've felt this way since the beginning, he's the most interesting Toby Robo. His literal name is Who's Who. there's no way that's actually his name. There's got to be something deeper there.
You got a problem with his name?
No, I just feel like it's a very clear cover of who's who.
Are you saying his parents hated him?
Probably.
Okay.
If they gave him that name.
Yeah, his first name is Monkey.
But
my parents hated me.
if Jinbei didn't know this information before, which of course we're going to assume he didn't, maybe he wants to know more about this instance, and we get that in their fight. So whatever Jinbei learns, he can tell Luffy.
The only thing I can see right now, is that I can imagine, because currently that Aegis operative is kind of acting as a narrator of sorts.
Right, sure, yeah.
I can totally see him narrating some segments of who's relevant past.
I could also see
because
that.
he probably has knowledge of who's who, because I can see him being like the what's the word?
A traitorous assassin?
No, not traitors. The veteran.
Yeah.
I can totally see him being the veteran that knows a lot about these.
Yeah, Aegis has got to have all the info, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're looking at the Who's Who's fight really interestingly.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a huge old bag of worms. I never thought I would get the Gomu origin story.
But I'm kind of glad.
I never thought I wanted it.
I know, it's the thing I didn't think I wanted, or I didn't know I wanted, but I'm really happy that it's relevant enough.
Do you think that he's bringing this up now because there's a function of the Gomu that Luffy is going to unlock to beat Kaido with?
Well, and
So, random theory I saw on Reddit was maybe this is the setup for Luffy to start awakening his fruit. And this is just tinfoil hat, and obviously I just really enjoy this theory I read. Where he'll awaken the rubber fruit as he's about to drop Onigashima on the flower capital. He'll turn Onigashima into Onigumshima.
Oh my
and it'll
God.
bounce back up into the sky.
That's the thing, right? With awakenings, whatever you touch becomes the thing. That's what Doflamingo showed us. So he could make Onigashima a fucking bounce house. And we've avoided everything. With the flower
Congrats,
capital.
welcome to Straw Hat Luffy's magical flying bounce house.
Dude, that'd be funny as hell.
Magical world.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Because he has to either get back up there or it has to come to him and do it in a safe way, right? I don't know, man. This is wild! Who's who? Who the frick are you? He's so interesting.
We never thought we'd be so interested in who's who as we are right now.
I was always very interested in
I was never this interested in who's
was
who.
not.
But now
that I know he's associated with Cyberball 9 by itself, that association makes me super interested in him.
At this point,
But now that he has info about the...
at this point, Black Maria is my least interesting Todoropo.
unless she's Yamato's mom, then she's pretty interesting.
Ew.
Well, I mean, what? Kaido...
Dragon
Maria.
fucking spider?
I see it.
Okay.
Maybe you
I
should.
mean, they don't have to be in animal form.
Why wouldn't they be?
That's the only way Burke will have it.
Oh, okay.
Horny jail!
We're going to unpack that off the air.
But no, really beautiful color spread.
Yeah, the color spreads are great.
Really sick.
I love Who's red suit.
God, I love the red hair. Is he red hair? Is it or pink hair? Excuse me. That's his thing.
Well, I'm thinking. Well, remember, these are fan drawn. These are fan colors.
I know, but
Wano
has an opening. Have we seen Who's Who in it at all?
No.
I don't think so.
Not yet.
No, we have. It's just shadowed.
We just got to the war, so Todoropo reveal is pretty soon, isn't it?
It should be.
Yeah.
So we'll see what color hair he should have been having this whole time.
We'll see if the opening.
I love the
changes.
pink, man. He's rocking the pink. Man, what a chapter. Really transitional. Only thing I was disappointed with initially, but it was kind of long, so I'm not super disappointed with everything else. I did want to see that Yamato Kaido continuation.
We will.
If albeit just a bit of it.
We will.
I just want to know.
Don't get me wrong. I wanted to see that.
Yeah.
But the amount of stuff and that's why when you were telling me off air that you thought that this was a mild chapter.
Tame, I said.
Tame chapter.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? There was so much. It was such a long chapter, A. B, there was like the stuff with who's who and Tama executing Order 66. You know, there's just some freaking great stuff in here.
No, absolutely great. When I say tame, I just mean that we don't get as much
Kinemon's
fighting.
not getting stabbed in the gut. In this
I think what you mean is it doesn't evoke.
It seems more
It
informational.
doesn't evoke the intense feelings that the ones that
Right.
It's that good kind of informational truth.
Yeah, no, it is.
Stuff is happening while the information is being
tame
exposited.
doesn't mean bad. Tame just means
No,
there's
and
more information.
I didn't think you thought it was bad.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I really did enjoy this chapter.
It just tame to me just seems like not much really happened.
Okay. We're coming at tame a different way,
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
very good chapter. A lot happened, and I'm really pumped for the continuation of a lot of this. I don't know who we go to next.
We won't find out.
I don't know if Sanji gets to get his fight. We go back to Yamato Kaido. I don't know if we get a continuation of who's monologue.
I don't even care.
Holy shit.
Just as long as we keep
I think it's
ramping
gonna be,
it up
I think
and
it's gonna be
ramping it
good
up,
regardless.
it's gonna be good.
Gosh, I'm pumped. Also, last thing, is the eye on who's chest the same eye on the...
It looks like it.
So
Like the
That's probably how they keep in contact.
is he actually working for Aegis then?
No,
No, but like if...
it's one of the Marys. So
aren't they providing...
no, Bao Huang works for Kaido.
No, I know, but aren't the Marys using Bao Huang to check in on the battle?
Yeah.
So if...
That's just her just making sure she can A, help communicate with all of Kaido's soldiers, and B, provide any reconnaissance.
Right, but couldn't they ask Bao Huang what's going on in the Who's Who fight from
Of course
the
they
eye
could.
that would be on his chest?
I mean, of course they could.
I'm just saying there might be a connection right now between Aegis and him, like he was.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he could also be a double agent like Drake.
But instead of being a double agent for Sword, he's a double agent for Cypher Pole,
Aegis.
right? Which, they're separate. They're very, you have the world government versus the world nobles.
Yes.
So I think that'd be kind of fun. And maybe he's telling all of this to Jinbei to evoke something? I don't know. I feel like you don't just drop this information. It kind of came out of nowhere, don't you think?
Sometimes you do, though. Sometimes villains just do that.
I mean, yes, but I also feel this feels intense.
I'm not saying that it isn't. This isn't the case, but it is also the case that plenty of villains just like to monologue.
Yeah. No, it's a good monologue.
And sometimes they need to get out their grievances.
Yeah.
I think that's a real thing.
I'm just wary of who's who right now. I'm really wary.
I mean, who is who?
Yeah, right.
How many times are we going to make that joke?
Hopefully no more.
You
Chapter
literally just did.
1017 is over. We will see you guys. Chapter 1018. No break this week.
We assume. It
There's-
doesn't say
say-
no break, and it doesn't say
It doesn't
break.
say if there was going to be a break. I would hope it would say.
The best way to avoid a break is to create a Foxy Sama.
Do you know the way?
Oh no, please, no. No! Turn it off! Turn it off!
All right, next week, boys. All right, listeners, that concludes this episode of the Yonko Podcast. What a wild world-building chapter! Always good to get the facts and develop those characters. Also, thanks for the fight, Oda. Now, animation team, go to town, please, and thank you. See you all next time on the Yonko Podcast, Chapter Review 1018. No break next week. We'll see you next week. All right, boys, we're off.